All right, so it's Parker here, and usually I will be talking about something to do with COVID-19. We've got that COVID-19 series, but today I want to congratulate our very first Sweet Pat on the Back recipients. His name is Jon Sessions. He's an assistant principal over at the Academy School in Brattleboro. Good morning, John. How are you?
Good morning, Parker. I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Very, very good. I got to tell you, we started this about a week ago, and we've gotten a ton of responses. What we're doing is we're trying to get a look at the local frontline people, the people that are the essential employees that are out there working, risking their health in a lot of ways. We're talking about, people in the education system, police, fire, all that kind of stuff. You actually, the first week, you've got 3 different nominations, the most out of anybody in the first week. So a lot of people are very appreciative of you, John.
Well, that means a lot to me, Parker, for sure. And I'll be the first to sort of pass on the credit to the many other people involved that are out there.
Yeah, I'm going to read a couple of highlights of what people said about you, John, because you do deserve to gloat a little bit and be proud of yourself. They say that you've taken Brattleboro town food distribution to all of the Brattleboro area students. When the school closed down, you jumped right in with a smile. 2,000 students a day you're feeding. Is that true?
We're feeding about 2,200 meals a day, so
Wow.
breakfast and lunch. So we're reaching about 1,100 students a day.
John, it's kind of funny. I've been trying to focus on some positive things with the pandemic, which is hard to find, but there are stuff out there.
Sure.
I don't know if I would make this a positive, but I've learned a lot. I didn't realize. I was naive. My son goes to school. He goes to 5th grade, and I didn't realize that school meals were so important to keep it going, because he comes home, he eats his lunch and breakfast and all that. I didn't realize that there's so many students relying on school lunches.
Yeah. Well, what we see is that people rely on it for a couple different reasons. One, there's a big section of our community that just from a health standpoint and from a financial standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
that those meals are critical. And the further we get along through this pandemic, that section of that need will continue to increase. But also, we've had a lot of people comment that it provides a sense of normalcy in this time that is really abnormal, to get a meal that feels familiar coming from our school cafeterias. It provides that sense of normalcy to kids right now.
Yeah, I got to tell you, my son, again, he's going to be 11 in July. He's been adapting very well to remote learning, surprisingly well. I think he likes it better, to be honest with you. What are you noticing in Brattleboro? Are the students, are they enjoying remote learning? Are they confused? Or what are kids thinking about the pandemic? What are you hearing?
I hear a mixed bag. More than not, I hear the kids are really missing school.
Mm-hmm.
They're missing their teachers, they're missing their friends, they're missing the predictable structure. Especially working in an elementary school, with younger kids, I think it's hard. It's been challenging for some kids to adjust to learning at home, stuff like that. My own kids, I have a daughter in kindergarten at Green Street School, and she's doing fine, but she misses her friends and her teachers.
Right. And I've noticed that and teaching has changed a lot since I was a kid. You didn't really miss your teacher. You're like, oh, see you later. Yay. Kids really are connected. They're very connected to their teachers, almost in such a loving way. It's so funny to see, not funny, but it's so great, really, to see these kids almost take their teachers almost like a second parent in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Well, I think that gets at sort of how we approach education in our district, that it's not just about teaching and learning, that schools fill a bigger purpose for kids, and social development and emotional development and relationships is key. And we have a school district that really values that. And I think this is a great example.
Yeah, with all the help that you're doing, I know that you're going around, you're going above and beyond. That's what they're saying here. I'm reading a list of things. Reaching out every morning to help volunteers and every night. When the kids see you, you talked about normalcy, you talked about structure. When they see you, do you notice a calmness or any kind of look on their face when they see something familiar in this tragic, weird situation we're all in.
Yeah, yeah, I think for sure.
Yeah,
And it's not just me. Every day there are 40 teachers from all schools around the district who are handing out meals, who are riding school buses and stopping at bus stops to hand out meals and staffing stations around town. And so kids get to see their teachers or their bus drivers. Yeah, and I think that is sort of maintaining a thread to school, which
sure.
I think is really important for kids right now.
Well,
And
John,
I'll be
thank
honest,
you. No, go ahead.
yeah, and I'll be honest with you, Parker. It's really important for us as educators to maintain that connection too. To see students, because it's been a hard adjustment for us too.
Yeah, I mean, with the remote learning situation, is that something you've been trained in, or I know in New Hampshire, again, my son goes to New Hampshire schools, but I know in New Hampshire, his teachers are saying, well, we're kind of just winging it. Seems to be working.
Yeah,
Is that what you guys are doing? Kind of just winging it, but it's working?
yeah. I mean, for the most part, I mean, we have people in our district who do have certain levels of training
Hmm.
in this, but yeah, we're all sort of wading through unfamiliar waters a little bit and sort
Right.
of learning as we go and in some ways I like to use the saying that we're sort of building the plane mid-flight a little bit, that we're sort of on our voyage and we're sort of making sense of it as we go a little
Well,
bit. But
John, you're doing
like,
a great job. People really appreciate everything that you're doing. So you are the first recipient of the sweet pat on the back recognition here with Brad FM. Like I said, I'll send out. There'll be a gift certificate and a little award. So when COVID is over and done with, and you can come to the station, we're going to shake your hand and give you a couple of treats from Vermont.
okay, all right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, John. We really appreciate it. He's the first recipient of the Sweet Pat on the Back Recognition Award with BrattFM. Thanks so much, John. We appreciate it.
All right.